Ha, you know what time it is, right? It's time for you to get at me. You know what that is? It's where you send your mentions to my Twitter page, @StephenA. thinking you just gonna get at me, wondering whether or not I'm gonna get back at you. Some of you want me to, others of you should know better. But just in case you didn't, we'll deal with the sacrificial lambs that had the audacity and mitigated goal to come my way. First up, Handy, what you got?
@StephenA. So, the Bucks are about to go up against the Nets. Who do you think is going to be the best player in that series? In my opinion, I say Kevin Durant. But give me your thoughts, though. What you think, Stephen A?
Well, first of all, you're a wise young man. I'll give you credit where credit is due. Because if you ask me who the best player is in any series that Kevin Durant is playing in, 99 times out of 100, if not 100 times out of 100, I'm going to tell you it's Kevin Durant. Because I happen to believe when this brother is healthy, he's the most lethal force in the game. He ain't the greatest shooter God ever created. That's Steph Curry, all right? Mr. Clutch himself, Damian Lillard and others, no doubt special. But when you talk about efficiency with a stature as an offensive juggernaut like KD is, he's the best in the world as far as I'm concerned. I'm going with KD. Giannis got to get a jump shot before he even belongs in KD's class. He's big time, no question about it. Love Giannis, but he ain't KD. Next up, Arjun. Let's hear it.
So I have one question for you. We see all these young teams in the NBA, like the Celtics. Their main player is Jason Tatum, and you have the Suns. Their main player is Devin Booker. If you were starting an NBA team, which player do you feel like you would want to start your team with? Thanks.
I can't make that choice. Arjun, I can't make that choice. Jason Tatum or Devin Booker. When I watched Devin Booker in this series, when I watched him the other night, he looked very Kobe-esque. Devin Booker is special. No doubt about it. But so is Jason Tatum. And I'll go so far as to say this. Jason Tatum was supposed to be the #1 overall pick. You remember when Brian Colangelo was running the 76ers and he allowed Danny Ainge to hoodwink him and swap those picks and all of that other stuff? And he ended up taking Markelle Fultz. Jerry Colangelo and the 76ers? That should have been Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid wins a championship. They win a championship. So that's how big of a mistake the Philadelphia 76ers made. That's how much I feel for Jason Tatum. That's how high I am on him. Plus, he's 6'9", with a J and a handle. As much as I love Devin Booker, if I had to pick between the two, it would be Jason Tatum by a hair. But I love Devin Booker. Finally, Matt, what's up? Get at me.
Hey, Stephen A. I've heard your point about Brad Stevens and wanting more black or persons of color in front office jobs, making those decisions. You've said forever, obviously, your man Louis Riddick, he deserves a job as a GM in the NFL. I'm wishing that you would go on a little bit further with a point and maybe brought up some names that you know on the inside that some of us fans may not know that could fill those roles. If you could give us maybe 3 to 5, I think we would really appreciate it, and you could get some fans, putting their weight behind that. Thank you.
Well, first of all, appreciate the question. Secondly, it's not about names in front office positions. I can bring up a guy like Chauncey Billups, who was a champion in Detroit and wanted to be a general manager, but that didn't pan out, and now he's an assistant with the Los Angeles Clippers, and by the way, should be given head coaching consideration. Sam Cassell should be given strong head coaching consideration for the Boston Celtics job. When you look at a guy like a Louis Riddick on a National Football League level, being an extraordinary analyst for us, think about Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator for the #1 offense over the last 3 years or so. But this is a guy that we look at and we say, hey, you know what? When's he going to get a head coaching job? But other people don't. My point was, it's not about Brad Stevens, nor was it about Steve Nash when I pointed out white privilege. I'm not saying they got the job because they were white, because there's plenty of white guys that deserve the job that didn't get it either. I'm saying those opportunities would never happen for a black person. You never coach on any level, but you inherit KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. You Brad Stevens and you on the hot seat, so supposedly in Boston, but you get the job as the president of basketball operations. That stuff does not happen for minorities. That's the issues. It's not about names. I can give you a whole bunch of names. I don't want to leave anybody out. It's about the only direction that
a deeper connection.